Hello. I wanted to talk a little bit about the tarot gatherings that we have. It's been over 3 years we started this. June, I have it here somewhere. June 9th, 2020 was our first meeting. That's when COVID was big, and that's why we started doing this. Zoom meetings. But I'd have to say that since then, we could look at this now and say it's always the second Tuesday of the month. We did do about 6 of them where there was 2 a month, but it just basically stayed second Tuesday of the month, once a month. And I have to say, like right now, we can look at this thing and I say that this gathering has taken on a life of its own. We don't know what we're going to talk about. It's just where we all meet. That's all. So really what it is, it's a hangout for tarot readers. Or actually, I'd like to say anybody involved with divination. It's just a hangout. And I didn't really know how we are going to handle it. Maybe we thought we were going to start putting some structure into it. But I like the way it is. And there's things being talked about in here that you couldn't possibly put in a book on the tarot, but yet still something that would be helpful as a reader. You just couldn't put it, it wouldn't make sense to put it in there, but yet it's still useful stuff. I can't explain it any other way. Because we don't even know what we're going to talk about. And that's what makes it so valuable. So if you're getting involved with tarot, you might want to check some of these out and see what you think. We have everything from just people just beginning, just starting to pick up the cards and getting to know them, to old pro readers here, and everything in between. So you come on down if you have a question about something with the tarot, or even about divination, and you want to hash it out with some people, talk it over. Everybody there is more than willing to tell you what they think. And you'll find some good ideas. And that's what I like about this. There's no real structure to it. It's just a place where we get together, have a cup of coffee, a drink, whatever you want to have, and hang out. And that's what I really wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a place where if you were looking for people involved with the tarot, this is where you go. Just hanging out. And this is going to be the place. And I really think that we did a good job with it. And it turned out real well. And the conversations we have really do go into some pretty deep things. There's a lot of light and breezy stuff too. But we're just socializing. There's a bunch of readers and a lot of pro readers in here. There's a lot of intermediate too. And we have novice readers in there too. But you get a wide range of things in there. So the energy is great. So I just thought I'd mention that. Second Tuesday of the month. And like I said, this has got a life of its own now. I started this thing in June 2020. And if I got abducted by aliens, let's say next month, this can continue on. This doesn't need me here. I mean, somebody else can just start a Zoom meeting. That's all. There's not some big deal to it. So if you want to start another one, go ahead. But I've started to look back at some of the conversations we had. Usually what I'll do is we have them, I record them so you can go to my playlist here and go to tarot gatherings, monthly tarot Zoom meetings, I think it's called, or something like that. It's one of the playlists. I'll be putting a link down to my playlist down below. You can take a look at them. And And you'll see that it's I started looking at some of the old ones. I usually just put them in there because I was part of it, so I don't go back and look at things and really edit much with it. It's about 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, each one. Some of them I edit, but not usually. But if you're part of the conversation, you don't really, it's nicer to see it observing the conversations instead of being a part of it. And some interesting things come up. We just had somebody, Marie, I believe her name was. We were talking about something, and Marie mentioned the difference between information and knowledge. And we were talking about something else, not the tarot. I think we were talking about artificial intelligence. But you could look at the tarot and you could look at this situation we have here, this group, and you could say that that's the difference. Where, you go buy books on the tarot cards. Books are wonderful. And you can learn a lot from them. But that's information. But what you're getting with these groups like this is you're picking up knowledge. You're learning knowledge because you're seeing all these different points of view. And then you're coming up with your own way of perceiving things. And I think that that's golden. That's really good. Information is just what you've learned, like let's say the card meanings. Okay, the information, this particular card means this. This one means that. That's information. But the difference between that is I started writing books about the tarot because I became somebody who first, actually, that was explaining why the tarot works. That's knowledge. Sure, you can learn card meanings, what each card means. That to me is information. But if you understand why the tarot works, that allows you to create your own information. And it also allows you to understand why you're going through these motions. Because you know why you're doing it. You know what makes it work in there, what's important and what isn't. And that's really can make a big difference. I go into why it works with Essential Tarot, Unlocking the Mystery, as well as Bare Bones Tarot, an in-depth study of the tarot. Essential Tarot uses the Rider-Waite deck. Bare Bones uses my Marseille deck. And I have other books that I've talked about it too, Genius of the Tarot and Radical Tarot. But there is a big difference between knowledge and information. And knowledge, you don't really learn knowledge from a book as much as you learn it from experience or from interacting with other people who are in it. That gives you a little bit more of an insight in what you're doing than any book ever will. So this has really turned out to be something I wasn't really planning on this being a big thing, but I do look forward to it every month, and everybody else seems to be doing the same. They like it, and we have a good time with it. So if anything, it's fun for us. And it's free, so you can just more than welcome to come on in there. But yeah, this is not something this is, like I said, it's got a life of its own now. And nobody really is running anything. We're just there, hanging out, listening to each other's point of view on all sorts of different aspects of the tarot and other types of divination or paranormal or psychic awareness, all sorts of different things. And it's a different way of doing it. And I think it's a very valuable way of picking up some insight that you can't find in a classroom or in a book. It's networking with other readers, old pros, rookies, everybody in between. Our next tarot gathering is September 12th, Tuesday, 12 o'clock Chicago time, Central Standard Time, CST. And you get in from tarotmaps.com, the website. Go to the tarot gatherings in the menu and just click on there, and there's a link to go right into the meeting. And there's no waiting room or any of that. Just come on in. I usually open up the doors about 11:30, and we're there till about 2:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30. So I don't think we ever really put a name on it. I think I call it, now I'm calling it tarot gatherings, or the gathering, the tarot gathering. I think originally it was called the Tarot Monthly Zoom meeting or something. I don't even know. Name doesn't make any difference. It's just what it is. And that's that. My new release, Conversations, is coming along well. Good response. And I'll be doing some YouTubes on some sample readings the next day or two. So keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon. Bye.